Yes. Take your notebook and keep everything ready. Right. So, Amrita, Meera, Pranita, Sahaya. Okay. Right. I'm going to give you some sentences and you have to see the logicality and quality of the sentence. If there are corrections, you make corrections. If it is already correct, make improvements. So that's what you have to do. Yeah. Grammar structures. Grammar structures. Yeah. Good evening, Chaitra. Yeah. The first one is yes. Yeah. The first sentence, number one, Mr. Sorry, Mrs. Walter is a married woman with the two children. Mrs. Walter is a married woman with the two children. Now you have time to correct these things. Correct this sentence. If there is a mistake, corrections and improvements. Corrections and improvements. Corrections. I am going to give you open up Achilles heel. The Greek hero Achilles heel. I'm going to open up for you. I'm going to open up for you. The Achilles heel. The vulnerable circumstances for your failure. Those I am revealing. I am revealing the vulnerable positions that you face. I want you to, right? I want you to correct this sentence or improve this sentence. Yeah, anybody, you can type. You can type your answer. All of you, try your answer. Just put number 1 for this question if you are typing. Like this only, same, put number 1 before and type. Number 2. Number 2. Number 2 is number 2. Mrs. Walter. Mrs. Walter presented correct your, you write your, you do your work, I am doing my work. That's all. Yeah, number 1, Amrita, like this one. Put number 1 and correct your sentence. Okay. Whatever you feel, you can write. Yeah. Mrs. Walter presented tiredness and overweight. Mrs. Walter presented tiredness and overweight. This is the second sentence. Next, third sentence. Therefore, comma, she was advised to change her lifestyle and increase exercise, change her lifestyle. Therefore, she was advised to change her lifestyle. Okay. Then next, additionally, she was suggested, to increase exercises in order to lose some weight. Yeah. In order to lose some weight. So I given 4 sentences so far. So dynamic participation is needed. So number 5. Please note that the patient has no hobbies. The patient has no hobbies or playing sports. Please note that the patient has no hobbies. There are mistakes to change. Okay, if they are correct, then you improve. Please note that the patient has no hobbies or playing sports, does not play sports. Okay. What is there I am giving you? Please note that the patient has no hobbies or playing sports as she is busy with her home duties. Please note that the patient has no hobbies or playing sports as she is busy with her home duties. Next. Regarding her medical history, she has been suffering from asthma since her childhood. During which she has been taking budesonide inhaler. She has been taking budesonide inhaler. She is taking budesonide inhaler. What do you mean by that? So make the corrections necessary. Yeah. Sentence number 9. Thank you for seeing Mrs. Walter. Who is presenting with symptoms and signs. Suggestive of severe depression. Severe depression. Severe depression. With a possibility of bipolar disorder. Mrs. Walter presented On the next visit, she was reported with a decrease of 13 kilograms. Of her weight, as a result of daily training in the gym. Besides, she became the president of the Parents Association in her children's school. Period. Today, comma, 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 the patient complained of loss of energy to the extent that she couldn't complete her household tasks as she has been overwhelmed with her responsibilities. Moreover, she suffered from insomnia and poor appetite, along with a feeling of not coping and a desire to die. In view of the above, I am referring Mrs. Walter for urgent management of her condition, including suicidal thoughts. Please contact her husband to discuss the issues of childcare and household maintenance. For any queries, please contact me. So 14 sentences I have given you. Let me see how many people are actively participating. Yeah. So Amrita is participating, Meera is participating, Chaitra is participating, Pranita is participating. Yeah, good. So Amrita, Chaitra, Meera, Girija joined. Okay, good evening, Girija. Good evening, Suma, Meera, Amrita, Chaitra. These people are participating. I want you to write own sentences. If there are mistakes, yeah, Manjula, good evening. So these are the sentences. You can write your sentences with this. So Mrs. Walter is a married woman. You call somebody Mrs. if she is married. So this is redundant. This is redundant. Now, what do you mean by redundant? What do you mean by redundant? Red, I have given red. redundant. Okay. Miss Walter is a married woman. So try to understand this. Do you need to use the word married when already the title is there that she is married? Mrs. means married. Unmarried people will not be named Mrs. Titled. Unmarried people will not be, okay, given the title Mrs. So you should understand that married is redundant because the word is Mrs. So that means she is still in marriage. Mrs. means she is in marriage. That means she is married. Marriage is alive. Marriage is alive. They are not separated. They are not divorced. Okay. And she is not a widow. That's the point. Then you will say Mrs. I'm talking about logic. Don't do such blunders. Okay. Right. Then Mrs. Walter. How can you say women? You have to say woman. You have to say woman. Mrs. Walter is a married woman. That's it. With 2 children. Mrs. Walter is a married woman with 2 children. Or Mrs. Walter is a married woman and she has 2 children. Okay. Clarity is very important. Mrs. Walter is a married woman and she has 2 children. Or Mrs. Walter, who is married, has 2 children. What is nonsense, man? When you say she has 2 children, Mrs. Walter, a woman, married, 2 children. Right? Try to understand this one. So woman is also not needed there. Because Mrs. is a title for a women only. That too married. So why should you say woman? Woman. Okay. So straight away you can say Mrs. Walter has 2 children. That's enough, no? So Mrs. Walter means she is married and marriage is still surviving. It's not destroyed. It's not broken. It's not separated. It's not divorced. Okay, she is not a widow. So Mrs. Walter has 2 children. Okay. Mrs. Walter has 2 children. Right. Mrs. Walter presented tiredness and overweight. Mrs. Walter presented tiredness. What presented tiredness? I presented 2 things. One is this. and one is this. This is presented. Mrs. Walter presented with the signs and symptoms or suggestive of. Like this, you can say if they are signs and symptoms. If they are not signs and symptoms, presented with the complaints of tiredness and overweight. These are complaints. They are not signs and symptoms of something else. Signs and symptoms suggest something. Okay. So then you can use like that. Presented with the complaints of tiredness and overweight. And these tiredness and overweight are signs and symptoms suggesting for something else. So be very careful when you are writing. Therefore, she was advised to change her lifestyle. So here, Mrs. Walter presented with the complaints of tiredness and overweight. Okay. So what I will do here is, I'll change this time. Why Mrs. Walter again and again? Okay. We don't need that again and again. Yeah. During the visit, okay, during the visit, during the initial visit or during on so and so date, however you want to write, you can write. I'm just giving you one possible way. There are many hundreds of ways. During the visit, tiredness and overweight were reported. So like that. Why Mrs. Walter every time? During the visit of Mrs. Walter, that is understood. Tiredness and overweight were reported. Okay. Therefore, she was advised to change her lifestyle. Therefore, she was advised to change her lifestyle. There is no mistake in this. There is no mistake in this. So we can improve this sentence. We can improve this sentence. All of you write down your sentences. Therefore, lifestyle modifications have been or were lifestyle modifications were recommended. Lifestyle modifications were recommended. Then, sentence is correct only here. So improvement I gave. Mistake is there, I'll correct it. Okay. Mrs. Walter has 2 children. Finished. Okay. Mrs. means married. Mrs. means woman. So why those things? Remove. What do you think Mrs. Walter is an unmarried person now? Or Mrs. Walter is a man? How can you say that is not understood in the second sentence? I'm teaching you something very important called redundancy. How to eliminate redundant. Mrs. Walter has 2 children. Finished. Why do you want to speak nonsense when the others can understand the sense? What do you mean by Mrs. Walter has 2 children? Mrs. means what? Mrs. means she's a woman. Mrs. doesn't denote a man. Mrs. denotes married people only. Mrs. doesn't denote unmarried people. Can't you apply your logic and use your common sense? It's not that you are writing. It is how well you are writing. How extraordinarily you are writing. How are you eliminating the unnecessary things? I told you already. Okay? I told you already. When I am very happy, I'll give a wonderful lesson. At the same time, when I'm sad also, I'll give even more than that extraordinary session. So, because happiness, I give the session to enjoy. In sorrow, I give the session to forget. So today, definitely it will be the best session. And today, Mr. Peter is unstoppable. There is no chance for anybody to speak. Just participate. So use all these things, what are topics I'm telling you. Okay. So when something is already understood, then why do you want to use that particular word or a phrase? Okay. So these 3 words, a married woman, all the 3 are gone. Mrs. Walter, only one person is there, so a is not needed. Married, not needed. Woman, woman is not needed, and that also women. Mistake again. Okay, so be very specific, selective, choosy, priority based information. Whatever comes into your mind, don't throw it. This is not a garbage bin. I mean, your letter is not garbage bin. So be very selective. What ingredients you are putting into your cuisine. Okay. Additionally, she was suggested. Why she was advised? Why she? This is passive only. This is passive only. Why do we want to use passive words? When you can use second passive, the main passive. What is important here? She is important. or lifestyle modifications are important? Changes are important or she is important in this sentence? Changes are important. In all the sentences, she only is there. Mrs. Walter is only there. So why do you want to say she? Mrs. Walter will not become he, na? And there is no other patient here. There is no other patient here. So changes means modifications. Why do you want to use an ordinary word when you can use a spectacular word? Why do you want to give a mediocre presentation when you can transform your presentation spectacular manner? Now let us see here. Change, modification. Change, what a vocabulary is change? Change is A1 vocabulary. That means you'll get 100 marks. Because even an LKG student can understand what is change. What speciality is there in this word? And why do you want to use this word? Why don't you use the word modifications? Modification is C1. Modification also means to change, usually to improve something. It's a very specialized word. Something that is changed slightly, especially to improve it or make it more acceptable or less extreme. Modifications. Why don't you use the word modification instead of change? So they use the power C1. C1. 350 plus. A1. 0 to 99. A2. 100 to 199. B1. 200 to 299. B2. 300 to 349. C1. 350 to 450. C2. 450 to 500. Now another word. Alteration is also C1. A change, usually a slight change in the appearance, character, or structure of something. Alteration. Why don't you use the word alteration? Modification, alteration. Write down these words, na? Nobody will write, I know that one also. Then next one. Transformation, modification, alteration, transformation. Transformation is C1 word. Somebody write and send me. Nobody will write and send me also. But still I will tell. So, modification, transformation, alteration. Meera says reformation. Reformation means reformation. Not reformation, but it's reformation. Yeah. That's fine. Reform is different, reform is different. Reformation, the act of making an improvement, especially by changing a person's behavior or the structure of something. Okay, right. Reform is C2 vocabulary. This is even better than the other three. Okay. But collocation wise, lifestyle modification suits aptly. Okay. So reformation is also wonderful, no doubt. But the practically accepted way is lifestyle modifications. Because it's very easy to understand because it's a common usage. Okay. So lifestyle reformation is even better usage. Then another word, amendments. C2 vocabulary. From where I am getting. You also can, you don't know these words? You know, amendments. Necessary, adequate amendments. So you can use these words. Amendment. A change or changes made to words of a text. A change to the law is change only. A change or addition to the US Constitution. A change made to something, especially the words of a text. A change. So, a change. But how well you are using, more important. Recommended, advised, suggested. So we are avoiding she. Avoid personal pronouns. Avoid active voice. Avoid passive voice if there is a personal pronoun and bring it the direct object. Direct object. Okay. What is the direct object? The main point. Here, she is not the direct object. She is the indirect object. Doctor advised the patient changes for lifestyle. So lifestyle modifications. She was advised lifestyle modifications. Finished. So lifestyle modifications are the direct object. Additionally, she was suggested to increase exercises in order to lose some weight. Increasing the intensity and the duration of the regular physical exercises. I will give a lot of things. I will intensify the quality gradually as it goes darker. The intensity goes higher. The beginning it will be normal. When we go into the depth, it goes higher, the highest time. Additionally, why she She is only Mrs. Walter. Why again and again and again and again she? For every sentence there is a she. Every sentence there is a Mrs. Walter. What nonsense are we doing? Huh? Everywhere there is Mrs. Walter. Here Mrs. Walter is there. Here Mrs. Walter is there. Here she. I have taken this letter from one benchmark corrections letter. What the student has written. Okay. Just taken from there. Those sentences only I presented to you. Here it is. Same sentences as they are. Only 8 corrections were given. Then what about the improvements? Who will give the improvements? Okay. All benchmark letters corrected. I already put them there in our Telegram channel, but nobody bothers. That's okay. All benchmark corrected letters. Yeah. So the first letter from there. Okay. These are the sentences as they are I have taken. I don't have any problem with the correction. Benchmark has corrected. That's absolutely fine. I'm not talking about those corrections here. I have taken the sentences which the student has. I have no complaints regarding benchmark and its corrections. I have no problem. I'm just taking an example. They have given 8 corrections here. Okay, that's fine. Mistakes were noted and corrections were provided. But what about the improvement? Okay, what about the improvements? How to improve your quality from B grade or C plus to B plus or A grade? Same sentences as they are. See here, Mrs. Walter. Mrs. Walter in the first line, first sentence. Mrs. Walter. Her. She. Her. She. Her. She. The patient means again Mrs. Walter. Don't use the word patient. If your family member is in the hospital, and you are a very influential person, you are very rich, and you love your family very much, and you love this particular patient very much, and I am a doctor or a nurse, and I tell, bring the patient here. Where is the patient? You will get offended. If I am in that place, I will crash on his face. How dare you call my brother? How dare you call my son? How dare you call my so-and-so relative? My mother or father, a patient. Of course, she's a patient. But don't you have common sense that you should not call a patient a patient? Don't you have that decency? How can you say my father has a name? My brother has a name. If you don't know, take the case notes or ask your colleagues, what's the name of the patient? And then call him by the name. How dare you call my son a patient? Well, smash your bones. Be careful. Don't do this mistake again. Okay? It's not a positive. It's not a degree. Doctor means you will be feeling very proud. But when you tell a patient, he will go down. It's not something, a word which is you can proudly boast about. So don't use the word patient. It's not fine. That is what is, we have to be careful. The next one, we are writing so many times, Mrs. Walter, Mrs. Walter, Mrs. That means every first time only it is considered, afterwards it is redundant. Avoid. She. Avoid. We are using so many times, that means you are coming into a new problem called redundancy. Redundancy means unnecessary, more than necessary. When it is already understood, why again and again? How many patients are there in the letter? Only one. Then why do you want to say Mr. Walter, Mrs. Walter, Mrs. Walter every time? 1, 2, 3. Okay. Here you will change to patient. 4. 4 times Mrs. Walter. Next. Patient. The patient. 2 times the patient. Who is the patient? Mrs. Walter. Don't we understand? Why do you want to say patient? Because you don't know how to write passive voice. You are bringing the patient in between. Loss of energy was complained. Finish. What is important here? Which is the new thing that is coming into the sentence? Which is the new point, which is very important, that is coming in the sentence? Use that one. Nah? Told you whether you understand or don't understand, or whatever it is, I don't mind. I'm going to the depth of the point. I'm unleashing the mud from the roots. I'm bringing the roots naked in front of you. I'm uncovering the roots and keeping them naked in front of you. That is the naked truth. Naked truth. That means truth in reality. If you can take it, take it. If you cannot take it, just leave it. If you are powerful, if you are capable, if you are rich, if you are ready to learn, if you have a thirst for knowledge and you want to quench your thirst, Mr. Peter is here with you. If this lecture helps even one student, I'm very happy. So 2 times patient, 4 times Mrs. Walter. Then how many times she is there? How many times Harry is there? What is the letter then? Once again, I'm reminding you, I'm not talking about the corrections here. I'm talking about the letter here. Whoever so written, we don't know their name. That's not important. It's written by a doctor. It's a doctor's letter. Okay. Today, the patient complained of loss of energy. So loss of energy was informed, complained, reported, mentioned, expressed, notified, finished. Patient only will complain. Patient's father and mother did not come and complain. If they come and complain, you can tell patient's father, because patient father is newly coming into this sentence. The patient is already known. Why are you talking about the known person again and again and again and again? Don't you know that known case should be avoided? Unknown things only should be revealed. Redundancy matters. Today, yeah. So let us see how many times he has written she, her. We have seen here. Every sentence, okay, she is there. Okay, Mrs. Walter, she, her, she. She was be suggested to lose her weight only, no? No, she cannot reduce somebody else's weight. It's redundant. Understood? Her weight. She. Okay. She. Her. She. Her. She. Her. That's it. So that is what I have taken. Because we can learn from others' mistakes, others' quality, right? How do we know here what type of letter? Thank you for seeing Mrs. Walter, who is presenting with symptoms and signs suggestive of severe depression with a possibility of bipolar disorder. Your urgent management is highly appreciated. It's an urgent letter. But what type of letter is this? Mrs. Walter. For urgent management, urgent letter. You are referring. So why this refer is coming in the last paragraph? Why is it not coming in the first paragraph? So what type of letter is this? Where should you write? The other person should know what type of letter it is in the beginning itself. Why in the last paragraph it is mentioned? The word refer. I am referring. Why I? Only you can refer. Nobody else can refer. If you are absent, if you are sick, okay. If you leave the job, then somebody else will be there. Definitely you will not be referring. That means in your place, anybody is there, anybody can refer. So why you are greatest? Why you brought I into the picture? For urgent management of her condition. Whose condition? Her condition only. Who is the patient? Mrs. Catherine Walter. Then why to mention her condition? Just improve the condition, manage the condition. So try to understand what is quality. Don't be easygoing. Don't be easygoing. It's not management. It's not how well you are managing to write a letter. It's how well you excel in your letter, in your presentation. Anybody can manage. What manage? Writing 180 words, writing 5 paragraphs, and writing some words, writing some sentences. Everybody can write that, anybody can manage. See, the student has managed writing a letter, but the redundancy factor is too heavy. Okay, this redundancy factor is too heavy. It is still C plus. It is still C plus. Yeah, that's fine. It's not B grade. Though 8 mistakes only shown, but still it is C plus. C plus. Okay. You have to improve a lot. That's it. So, how well we are improving the quality is very, very important. If you want to check these letters, there are not too many corrections. But if you want to check the letters, I'll just post you the link. That is the link. Okay, but not too many corrections. In each letter, there are only 7 or 8 letter corrections. Okay. So better you go to quality check corrections, because each letter, there are many mistakes, many improvements, many suggestions, all inclusive. So you can use those things. Then next. Additionally, she was suggested to increase exercises. Increase exercises means 5 exercises is 5 types of exercises. So 10 types of exercises. Increases. How can he increase the exercises? Increase what? In exercises. Increase exercises or increase what in exercises? Increase the duration of exercises or increase the intensity of exercises or increase the number of increase exercises. What increase exercises? What do you want to increase in it with regard to exercises? It's not very clear. The information is not straight. Increase exercises. What increase exercises? Additionally, increasing not only the intensity but also the duration of the exercises of the regular daily physical exercises. So you can say activities. Duration of the recommended. Additionally, increasing not only the intensity but also the duration of the recommended regular daily physical activities. Okay. Is increasing is not intensity and duration are. Increasing is recommended. Increase what? Intensity. That is different. Increasing is recommended. Intensity is not recommended. Increasing the intensity is recommended. So increasing is recommended. Intensity is already there. Increase that intensity. Intensity is already there. So strenuous or moderate or light. Intensity is already there. You have to increase the intensity. Okay. Is undeniably essential for minimizing or shedding of unwanted weight. Shedding of unwanted weight. Shedding of, removing. Shedding of unwanted weight. Shedding. What do you mean by shedding? SHED. This is not shed. Shed is verb we want. To get rid of something you do not need or want. To get rid of something you do not need or want. Okay. That's it. Why don't you use the word present participle is shedding? Sorry, Girija, you have written a wrong word. It's not losing, it's losing. You have written losing. Okay, loose means not tight. Not the point. It's LOSING, losing, zing, not losing. This is loose, loose. Loose, LOOSE, loose means not tight. Loose, LOSE, loose. Okay, means not gain. Totally different words. So, right. So you can use the word shedding off. Shedding is present participle. Past participle is shed. Shed, shed, shed. Shedding. To get rid of. Okay. To lose a covering such as leaves, hair, or skin, or unwanted fat, or unwanted weight, anything. Okay. So shed tears, C1 vocabulary. Right. So different meanings. How you are going to use. Shed means to get rid of something. Peeling off. Peeling off. Get rid of. You can use the word get rid of. It's an idiom. Get rid of someone or something. Idiom. Use idiom. To get rid of. Use the idiom. No? Shedding means to get rid of something. To get rid of is an idiom. Why don't you use this idiom? Write down and keep it. Idiomatic language, not everyone can speak. Very powerful expression. Get rid of someone or get rid of something. Idiom, both. Get rid of is an idiom. It may be someone or it may be something. Okay. So use the word get rid of. Undeniably essential for weight reduction. Additionally, increasing not only the intensity but also the duration of the recommended regular daily physical exercises is undeniably essential for weight reduction. See the quality and the intensity of the same process. People say, sir, we are not able to write 180 words. How can we write, sir? How can we write, sir? How can we write? This is how you can write. How can we write? First of all, can we write? Yeah, you can. You need to be hungry to drink water. If you are a horse, you need to be hungry to eat food. You need thirsty to drink water. You are neither thirsty nor hungry to either eat or drink. Everything I am putting in front of you. Okay. If you're thirsty, you can quench your thirst. If you're hungry, you can fill your stomach. The word quench, a very powerful word. To drink liquid so that you stop being thirsty. This much meaning is there for quench. Okay. To use water to put out a fire. To satisfy a need or wish. This thirst for knowledge will never be quenched. My thirst for identifying students who are very serious cannot be quenched. I will not get tired. I'll be searching, searching, searching. Okay. So these are the to satisfy a need to drink by drinking liquid or to stop fire by burning. So that's the meaning of the word quench. Very powerful word. 1 in 10,000. Use that word. Use those words. Additionally, increasing not only the intensity but also, okay, increasing both and. In addition to the intensity, the duration also should be increased. Intensity as well as duration. Not only but also. Both and. You can use not only but also. You can use both and. You can use in addition to. You can use as well as. Yeah. Please note that the patient has no hobbies or playing sports as she is busy with her home duties. She has no hobbies. She has no hobbies. Please note that the patient has no hobbies or playing sports as she is busy with her home duties. So how will this sentence be useful? Is this sentence necessary in the first place? She has no hobbies. Okay. She has no hobbies. That is why all these things are happening. No hobbies. Then why should you tell it? If she has hobbies, but still her weight is not decreasing, then you have to tell her. Despite participating in regular hobbies and sport activities, weight reduction has been difficult to be reduced, impossible to reduce. She's doing exercises, but still she's not getting weight reduction, means you have to tell. But no hobbies, then automatically weight will not reduce. So what is the fun of telling this sentence? She is busy with her home duties. So what gives? There are many students I have. Sir, I am very busy, sir. I am very busy, sir. I am very busy, sir. I don't have time, sir. I have no time, sir. Please note, sir, same sentence I am modifying to some students who are telling me the same things. And some people, they keep mum despite. They don't open their mouth and they're silent. Ask, what is it? Take lightly. Please note that, Peter sir, please note that I, your student, Mr. Abraham Lincoln. Okay. Mr. Abraham Lincoln has no hobbies. Or I do not play sports. Okay. I have no time. Or participating in the 4 skills as I am busy with my official duties, household chores, and parties and functions. Why are you telling that to me? Try to understand the same sentence what I am telling now. Peter sir, please note that I, Mr. Abraham Lincoln, have no time, or I am not doing any regular tests because as I'm busy with my office work 10 hours per day and household duties 4 hours every day. Why are you telling me that is redundant for me? Is of no use for me. It is no use for me. Neither it is useful for you. Is it going to build you? It is only breaking you down. It's only breaking you down. And the students, most time I will give, those students only will complain, sir, I am not getting anything. Because they are not interested to do what I tell. Okay. They don't. Ultimately, okay, the result is 0. What result is 0? We don't do any tests, sir. We just do like that. Please note, the sentence is totally irrelevant to the reader. If she is participating in sports and activities and hobbies, and still there is no reduction in her weight or improvement in her condition, then you have to tell her. Otherwise, this sentence redundant or irrelevant information. Why this sentence is there in the letter? Okay. Regarding her medical history, the patient is Mrs. Walter. Why again her? Suffering from asthma. Asthma is medical history only, no? Why do you want to say regarding her medical history? It cannot become social history. It cannot become personal history. And it cannot become family history. She has been suffering from asthma is not family history, is not social history, is not personal history. It is only medical history because this is related to a medical problem. Don't you know that regarding her medical history, why you are writing that one? What is the necessity of writing regarding medical history? Regarding her social history, regarding her personal history, regarding her family history? It's nonsense. Okay. No need to say regarding her medical history, regarding her personal history, regarding her social history, regarding, we understand. Okay. Regarding her family history, okay. Her father, she is married. She has 2 sons. Children are adults. This is all family history. We can understand that it is family history. This is not medical history, my dear. This is not social history also. This is not personal history also. This is family history only. To introduce that one, do you want to say regarding her family history? You are writing medications. You are writing the medical problems. Before that, do you need to say regarding her medical history? Huh? No need, no? No need. It is like, boys and girls are going. Every boy will put a tag called boy and every girl will put a tag called girl. Like that. When you see them, you can notice that they are boys and girls. Why do you need a tag or label called boy, girl again on their shirt or back? Do we need? That is what it is. When you can identify, I'm giving you A grade quality, okay? If you can understand the importance, stay back. Otherwise, go and sleep. So, you know that is clearly understood how a boy looks like and how a girl looks like. Okay. On the Dell computer, on the Dell laptop, it will not be written laptop. On the Samsung mobile, it will not be written mobile, just Samsung is there. This is a phone. Only Samsung will be there. Mobile will not be written. This is a mobile. Even an idiot can say that this is a mobile. This is a tab. Nobody will write that tab on this one. It is a tab. On a computer, nobody will write it. Computer. Just the name of the brand is enough. Lenovo, Dell, HP. That only will be there on the computer. But on the sealed cover, it will be written. Okay. It will be written. Because inside what is there, we don't know. It is hidden. So in such cases, you have to write. But here, no need. When it is understood that it is no need. Okay. All right. This is redundant. Regarding her medical history, why do you want to say this one? She has been suffering from asthma since her childhood. Don't you understand with this that other regarding her medical history is unnecessary? This is more than necessary. Redundant. You know the meaning of the word redundant. Just a writing is not enough. Writing with quality is required. It is a C2 vocabulary. That means many people don't know the word itself, that it is existing. Many people do not know that this word is existing. Redundant means unnecessary because it is more than is needed. Like Mrs. Walter is a married woman. Mrs. is there. Mrs. means what? Woman. Mrs. means what? Married. A married woman will be given the title Mrs. Then when the word Mrs. is there already, then why are you using the word married woman? Especially of a word or phrase, etc. Unnecessary because it is more than is needed. C2 vocabulary. Very powerful. So this meaning, try to understand. There is no requirement to say regarding her medical history because you are talking about the medical history. It is like you are showing the daughter. You say, see, this is my daughter. Okay. So here, this is my daughter. She is a girl. Try to understand what I'm telling. People will laugh. People will laugh at you. They'll make fun of you. What is this fellow talking? She is my daughter. Okay. No, she is a girl. See, this is my son. He's a boy. What do you mean? You're telling he is my son. He's a boy. What do you need to say? He's a boy. So like that this is. You're already talking about medications. Okay. Suffering from asthma and medical medications and medical condition. This is medical condition and this is medication. That means medical history. That means what you are thinking about the other person, that the other person doesn't know what is a medication and what is a medical condition, that you need to explain him, that you have to explain him. That means you are undermining the other person, that he cannot understand. So you are telling, or are you telling, boasting about yourself that you know too much and the other person doesn't know? We say, see, this is my son. He is a boy. That means the other person cannot understand. He is my son means he cannot understand that he is a boy or girl. Simply blah, blah, blah. That shows that we are not very talented and we are just fillers. How to make 180 words? That's understood very clearly. This is all but nonsense, redundant. So don't use such things which are redundant. This is irrelevant and this is redundant. She has been suffering from asthma since her childhood. Okay. During which she has been taking budesonide inhaler. She has been suffering from asthma since her childhood. So how you can improve this sentence? She has been suffering from asthma. Okay. So you can say she has had asthma since her childhood. Don't use the word suffering. Suffering is a negative word. Suffering is a negative word. She has had asthma since her childhood. During which, not during which, for which. Instead of for which, for what? For asthma. For which means for asthma. She has been taking budesonide inhaler. She has been suffering. So this is since her childhood. Since her childhood, what you will do is remove from here, bring it forward. Since her childhood, put comma. Since her childhood, she has had asthma. Don't use been suffering. Since her childhood, since childhood, she has had asthma. Asthma and for which should come side by side. That's why I removed since childhood forward. She has had asthma for which she has been taking budesonide inhaler. Is she taking budesonide inhaler? Is she taking budesonide inhaler? Or is she taking puffs from Budesonide inhaler? Is she taking puffs from Budesonide inhaler? Is she taking Budesonide inhaler? She is taking water, she is drinking water, she is taking food. Like that, is she taking Budesonide inhaler itself? What does that mean? What does that mean? What is she taking exactly? Is she taking Budesonide inhaler? Or is she taking puffs from 2 or 3 puffs from Budesonide inhaler? What is she taking? Really Budesonide inhaler? Taking what? Is she taking the Budesonide inhaler itself? What exactly? She is taking medication from Budesonide inhaler. Okay. Medication, which his name is Budesonide, through the inhaler. That's it. So try to reason that properly. Going into the depth of the questions there. The next one. Thank you for seeing Mrs. Walter, who is presenting with symptoms and signs suggestive of severe depression with a possibility of bipolar disorder. So why do you want to thank him? When you are thanking him for seeing Mrs. Walter, it's becoming personal. But it should be formal. That's correct. There's no wrong in saying thank you for seeing. You're talking to your friend. Thank you for visiting my house. Thank you for calling me. That is personal. This is professional. In professional, person is not important. Neither you nor he. Both should be hidden background. You should hide in the silhouette. Now, what is this silhouette, sir? Should not come into the limelight. You should be only background music players. The heroine, let them dance, na? Why do you come onto the stage? Don't come directly onto the stage here. So thank you for seeing. I thank you for seeing. That is the meaning. I is coming, you is coming. Why these two players are coming into the forefront even before Mrs. Walter, pushing Mrs. Walter into the third position. I in the first place, I thank you, you in the second place. Why? Why is Mrs. Walter not given importance? Mrs. Walter, comma, who is presenting with symptoms and signs, not symptoms and signs, signs and symptoms. This is the normal style. Go the traditional way. Signs and symptoms, not symptoms and signs. That's also right, no problem. Majority. Signs and symptoms. Suggestive of severe depression with a possibility of bipolar disorder. This should go into the beginning introduction, not in the last. Comma, is being referred for immediate. So urgent, that's what we have seen. Okay. So immediate. Okay, your urgent management is highly appreciated. Urgent letter. Urgent letter. Urgent. If it is urgent letter, okay, why this is coming here? This paragraph. Today's visit should be first. 25/7. This should come first. In urgent letter, today's visit should come first. Do you know that? Which is the urgent problem? Today's problem or social history, personal history? Mr. Walter is a married woman with 2 children. Regarding her medical history, social history, personal history, family history, are they important? The person is about to die and suffer, and you are talking about family history, social history, marriage history. First, you tell the most important problem, that is today's problem. You cannot see all these things in the letter correction. Because letter correction anybody will give. When I explain, come means nobody will come. Sir, just correct the letter and give me. So, people will think this is right, everything is fine. But you see here, this is urgent letter. Okay. Urgent management. Okay. So, today's visit should come forward if it is urgent letter. So, I have told you, I'll give you many different things. Okay. Is being referred for urgent, immediate. I don't want to write immediate, emergency. Evaluation. And appropriate. Management. Okay. So this is right, you can write in the introduction instead of writing in the conclusion. And in the conclusion, you repeat the same thing, but no need to use the word refer there. Refer you use in the first sentence. Based on the conditions cited above, based on the conditions discussed above, cited above, CITED, cited above. Cited means located above, presented above. Emergency, examination, and a necessary follow-up action plan would be profoundly beneficial to improve the condition. You can write like that in the ending. So this you can write in the introduction. Not even one is leaving the chamber, 11 out of 11, everyone is there. Wow, wonderful. Oh my God, I was thinking maybe only 5-4 students will be there. But still 11 out of 11 are there. That means, believe me, 10 students from the beginning to the ending, they are here. Good. I don't know, with these lectures, half of them might have gone to sleep. Huh? Good. I really appreciate you are really interested then. Because already I told you, this will be the best lecture for this season. Because I'm not very happy today. So to forget that, I'm drenching myself. Okay. The best love songs are sung by the saddest lover. I don't know who told it. The sentence is not as it is. Maybe Shakespeare or somebody. I don't exactly remember. But similar lines were told, but I modified it. The best songs, the best love songs are sung by the saddest lover. So like that. Right. On the next visit, she was reported with a decrease. She was reported or she has reported or she reported. Okay, here I wanted to change, right? If it is in the conclusion, this is introduction, you can write this sentence, the same reiterating the subject, but not repeating the sentence, not repeating even a word, not repeating even a word. So you can write like this. This you can use in the conclusion. Same everything, but style different, based on the circumstances in the light of the circumstances. Every time I'll give you different styles. In the light of the circumstances cited above, comma. Here what we wrote, emergency evaluation. And here what we will write, immediate in the light of the above, in the light of the circumstances cited above. Cited means mentioned above, comma. So instead of emergency evaluation, we can say immediate assessment, evaluation, assessment, changing the words, and necessary plan of action would be profoundly beneficial to improve the condition. And you can say, if or in case, continuation, the same thing, any additional information is deemed extremely prominent, please do not hesitate. This sentence will not be counted for word count, but for marks it is very essential. So give the quality. It's not counted in word count, so that is different thing. Word count is different thing, quality is different thing. To contact me, quality will be considered for scoring. Word count, it is not considered. Only word count, don't take this last sentence. Quality is quality. Okay, purpose should be repeated, not the background. Signs and symptoms, severe depression, all these things. Okay, condition is that one, severe. Okay, just condition is enough. Don't take any word from the introduction into the conclusion, but everything should be there. Not even a word of it repeated. That is called redundant again. Repetition. Repetition. Avoid repetition. Avoid repetition. Repetition is a C2 vocabulary. People say do not repeat. That's normal. Avoid repetition. The act of doing or saying something again. So Avoid repetition. C2 vocabulary. Write down these words and keep them. I told you already. Reiterate. A very formal word. To say something again, once or several times. Very powerful word. Use it in speaking and use it in the formal. We are writing a formal letter. Use it. To say something again, formal. Reiterate. Yeah. On the next visit, next visit. On the next visit. Now let us see. Next. What is the power of this word? A1 means 99 marks maximum. Following. That is B2. That is 209. 349. Where is 99 and where is 349? Why don't you use following during the in the following week in the following instead of next use following. Succeeding. B1. Okay. Preceding, succeeding. This is verb, not verb, adjective. To come after another person or thing in time. Okay. To take the place of another person or thing. Okay. Then next one. On the next visit. On is A1. On is A1. Why don't you use during? Oh. During is A2. During is A2. A2. Okay, why don't you use during? Okay, during the next visit, you can say. Why do you want to use this one? On the next visit, she was reported. It's not she was reported, she reported. With no, she reported a decrease of 13 kilograms of weight. She reported a decrease of 30 kilograms. Kilograms is weight only. Of her weight only. Of her weight. Do you think that this is needed? On the next visit, she reported a decrease of 13 kilograms. On the next visit, she reported a decrease of 13 kilograms. Is that not enough? Kilograms what? Blood? No, no. Then what? Weight only. Whose weight? Her weight only. Is that not redundant? As a result of daily training in the gym. On the next visit, she reported a decrease. During the following visit, weight loss of 13 kilograms. Okay, or just loss of 13 kilograms. Weight was reduced by 13 kilograms. Weight was reduced by 13 kilograms. Weight reduction, weight loss of 13 kilograms. Okay. Comma, which was due to intense daily training has been reported. Intense daily training has been reported. Did anyone switch on the camera? No. Nobody switched on the camera. Very good. Everybody is, one more student joined. Very good. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, during the next visit, weight loss of 13 kilograms, which was due to intense training in the gym, was reported. So like that you can check. So I'll give you these sentences. So you can practice like this. Don't use the word moreover, furthermore. This is not accepted in OET. She suffered from insomnia and poor appetite. Okay. Insomnia and poor appetite were reported, were informed. In addition to not able to cope, not able to cope, not being able to cope, feeling of not coping, not being able to cope, and tendency. What type of tendency is this one? What type of tendency is this one? Tendency of self-harm or suicidal tendencies. Okay, suicidal tendencies were reported. Like that you can write. So, in view of the above, I am referring Mr. Waldo for urgent management of conditions, including suicidal thoughts. That is what? Suicidal ideation, suicidal tendencies. Please contact her husband to discuss the issues of childcare. Childcare is one word, not two words. For any queries, please contact me. That already we have written here in case any additional. So almost everything is done. Extend, no, to the extent. Extent is noun. Extend is verb. To the extent, the is article, so noun should come. Extent is noun. Extend means limit. Extend means continue. And could not, you should not use the word could not. You should use couldn't, you cannot use. Could not. Couldn't, short forms. Don't use short forms. Okay. So that's enough for now, dinner time. So if you are happy with the session, if you are happy with the session, give your feedback. Okay. Provide your valuable feedback. If you are happy. So how it was beneficial for you to write. Okay. Because writing individual corrections every time the same mistakes you are doing. So I put it here. So That's the end of the session. If you are interested to write some comments, then you can just write down there. I'm tired and my lunch time already 11 o'clock. Oh. I'll be giving you exactly 60 seconds. In 60 seconds, whatever you want to write, you write. And those students, I want to tell you, those students who did not pay the fees, okay, and those who are continuing classes, just contact me and pay your dues because new month is coming. I'm not asking you for the remaining fees, so it doesn't mean that you can prolong. So normally, within 15 days, 20 days of joining, you'll pay the remaining amount. If anybody is there, you please pay the fees because we are starting the institute here. We are building the institute and the institute slowly. So I am in the institute only now. Okay. So this is the institute. So it's getting, yeah. So now we have got the 4 walls and we have the ceiling, we got the flooring and we have fitted the electrical fittings. Now we are furnishing with all the things. So whoever is there who has to pay the dues, please do that one because I don't ask you people. Okay, so it is your duty. If you have promised me that you will pay, okay, requesting me, so we are in difficult situation, we'll pay half and remaining half we'll pay later. So please do that one. Okay, right. And it is your obligation. You have to do that one as soon as possible. Okay, that's the end of the session. Have a good day. Good night.